Hey everybody, welcome back. How is everybody doing? School has started up again for me, work as well, and it is crazy. I mean, with school starting up here in the next few weeks, uh, well, not really. We're doing an online based thing, but it's getting pretty wild. It's getting pretty hectic for the teachers to run around and get ready and all that. But I love doing it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I'm excited for everything to get back to some sort of normalcy. And throughout this whole situation, there's one person that we can trust through everything, and that is Jesus. And I know that when you say that, it sounds like the church answer. You're just like, Jesus, yeah, I get it. But seriously, though, like, he really is the one who you can trust. He's with you throughout every step of your day. He watches over us day and night because he doesn't sleep. He doesn't grow weary. He doesn't get tired. He's always there. And we're going to see that in our story today. Because there are moments in our life to where we will say, man, I love Jesus and I trust him with all of my heart. But there are going to be moments to where that is tested. Because there's been a lot of times in my life to where I've said the same thing. I trust you, God. But then the storms of life come. Someone takes money out of your bank account when it's not you, and you're unsure of what's going to happen. Or, you're in a car accident and you don't know what's going to happen or how you're going to pay for your car or what the other person is going to react like, or maybe even a job situation. Maybe it's something to do with your family. Maybe it's something to do with your friends or what's going to happen with mom and dad. There's so many things in this life that can go awry or wrong. But through it all, Jesus is always there. And you see in this story, we're going to be reading in Mark 4. It's when Jesus calmed the sea. Now we read this story and we think, man, that's really cool, that's great, and it's an awesome story. But let's look deeper into it. What does it mean for us? What does it mean for us? Well, first off, this is Jesus' first time in front of the disciples doing a major miracle. Okay, so he's teaching people in a multitude. And Jesus says, let's go to the other side. Right there, that should have given them a hint that everything's going to be okay. Why? Because Jesus said, we are going to the other side. Jesus tells us that today. We are going to make it. Now, the thing is that we think with the wrong type of mind. We think of in an earthly sense. I'm going to make it. That doesn't mean that we're going to be rich. That doesn't mean we're going to have a long life. That doesn't mean that we're going to get everything that we want or everything to make us successful. No, when Jesus says we're going to make it, as a believer, as a child of God, he says, you are mine, and you will live with me forever and ever and ever in heaven. That's what he means by you're going to make it. But in this sense, for the disciples, Jesus says, we're going to make it to the other side. Don't worry about it. We're going to make it. So they get on the boat. And as they're sailing, now mind you, these are fishermen, right? All of Jesus's disciples are fishermen, pretty much. So they know what to do in the ocean. They know what to do in the Mediterranean. They know how to sail the water. And as they're going, this huge storm comes. And it's bad. It is bad. It's like in the middle of a hurricane. And as they're sailing, water's coming onto the boat. So much water's coming onto the boat that people start to worry they're going to drown. They're going to sink. They're going to die. So what happens? The disciples, they run down into the ship and they go into the room and they find Jesus sleeping. They find Jesus sleeping. Now, I know that I said that Jesus doesn't sleep, and he doesn't because he is an eternal God. But while he's here on earth, He was 100% man, 100% God. And as men, as people, we get tired. So Jesus did too on earth because he was 100% man. So he had to sleep, just like any of us had to sleep. So the disciples are flipping out. They're like, how can you sleep at a moment like this? So they wake him up. They wake him up in a frenzy. They're scared to death. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine something going on and you run to your parents' room and they're sleeping? I wouldn't know how to react. I wouldn't know. Like if a hurricane or tornado passed over my house and I ran over to my neighbor to tell them, hey, something's going on, and they're just chilling, I'd be like, you're crazy. You're insane, dude. Wake up. You know what I mean? So that's how Jesus was doing in the whole situation. Was he was sleeping, and the disciples were scared, and so they woke him up and they said, Master, we are going to die. First of all, don't wake me up and tell me that the first thing, okay? Not even like a, hey, did you have a good nap or anything like that. It's just like, hey, we're gonna die. So Jesus got up, and I can only imagine. Okay, I mean, God was 100% man while he was here on earth, and he was probably like, huh, huh, you know what I mean? Like in the middle of the nap. You know when you get woken up in the middle of a nap, and you're just kind of like, yeah, that's probably how he was. I don't know. I'd like to picture that it was because it makes it even better. But so he wakes up and he's like, oh, what's going on, guys? Why you wake me up? And they're like, dude, we're about to die. We're about to die. And so they take him to the top of the boat. And he's looking around and he sees the sea going in a frenzy. Now, can you imagine what God's going through right now? Like, he is like, uh-huh, and like, like when God looks down at us in today's age, I wonder if he says the same thing, especially to his children. You know, we say that this thing going on and it scares us. Yes, it's scary. But I wonder if he looks down and he goes, uh-huh, and like, I'm in control of that. Why are you worrying? So then Jesus calms the sea. He just says a single word, and the sea immediately responds. The wind immediately responds, and it stops as if nothing ever happened. And the people were astonished. They were absolutely amazed. And they looked at Jesus and they said, dude, this guy is not an ordinary man. This guy has to be the Son of God. Now, what does this story have to do with us? Because honestly, I don't sail much. So, and if I'm in a storm, I'm in the house, and I have no problem with that. So what does this story have to do with us? First off, it's the first time that Jesus revealed himself to be God. Okay, he did a huge miracle. And the only person that can do something like that is God himself. So it's the first time he revealed himself to his disciples, that he was, in fact, God incarnate. Then, what else does it have to do with this? Guys, there's going to be in your life and my life several things that happen that were not planned. You might have a big life ahead of you, and you might have plans that you have made. I'm going to do this when I grow up. I'm going to go to this college, or I can't wait to play football in high school, or I can't wait to play tennis, or be in art, or dance, whatever it is. We all have plans. But things happen that we don't plan for. A broken leg, a move to a different town, a lost job, parents' divorce, and so on and so forth. And those plans fall apart. That's what we call a storm. Something in our life that was not expected. Something in our life that we did not plan. We call that a storm in our life. For me, a good example is just the other day, I tried to pay a bill, And the bank made a mistake and charged me several more times than they should for the bill. And they took all my money out of my bank. So I had $0 to my name. And quite frankly, I was a little worried. But I knew that God was in control. And He promises that if you do your part, He'll take care of you. And guys, He did. Because my bill was due, and guess what? They said, hey, we'll wait. My car note was due, and they said, hey, we'll extend it 10 days. God knew what He was doing. And money ended up coming back into my account. The bank fixed it. And so I was able to pay everything on time. I was able to do everything that I needed to do. Trusting God in the middle of a storm is so, so important, because honestly, it makes you stronger at the end of the day. It shows Jesus that you love Him, that you trust Him, and He'll respond to that by blessing you. Jesus came to this earth to save us and to care for us and to show us His love and grace. There's not going to be a time in your life to where God does something to you because He is angry or mad. He does everything out of love. And He's never going to do anything to hurt you, only to grow you. The only thing He asks is that in the middle of the storm, to have faith, trust in Him, and He'll take care of you. I love you guys. Talk to you later.